Okay, Sabres, we are going to carry on in iMovie 10 with some advanced lessons on audio and audio ducking and cutaways and all kinds of cool stuff. And in order to do that, we're going to go into a little bit different project. We could keep working with these clips, but they're rather simple and one-dimensional, and it'd be weird to put cutaways into this. So I'm going to close out this project, and inside my library, I'm going to go into this event called Green Screen 101. And I've got a project in here already called iMovie 101 V10. I'm going to double click on that. And what I see here is a timeline with some video clips in it. And I'm actually going to reproduce this, but let's start with the end in mind and show you what we've got here. An introduction with a fade from black, title screen, with some audio that starts playing, and myself introducing this clip, talking about how to use the green screen room. We go into the green screen then.
As far as making something appear on the screen.
We're going to talk about inserts or picture-in-pictures, as well as side-by-side video.
Talk to myself.
And cutaways.
Screen reversal and all kinds of stuff like that.
Which is a very standard video editing technique, and we'll teach you how to do all of this in this segment. So what I'm going to do is delete all this just to show you how it can be done again. My content is going to be in Green Screen 101, and right here is some of the footage I have. So I want to find that first clip where I walk into the room and kind of get everybody familiar with the space. There we go. And I'm going to highlight this portion of the clip, drag it, drop it into the timeline. If I want a title screen, I have to have something over it. So right now I could put a title over the beginning of this, but if I wanted that green title, I would have to actually put some material in first. So I'm going to click this Maps and Backgrounds, and I'm going to grab this green right here, drag it and drop it in front of my clip. And now I've got a 4-second blank green screen, so if I go to Titles, I can drop something like this drifting in here. And that's going to say Green Screen 101. Don't forget my transition here, fade from black at the beginning. And then I'm going to cross dissolve between these two clips so I don't get a hard cut.
So we are by one of the dressing room.
And that's a little too long with the title screen, so I'll drag that back. One other thing I'm missing right away is audio. And where can we get audio from? We could pull from iTunes, but we're going to discourage you from doing that because everything in iTunes is usually copyrighted. We want you to use royalty-free material, and one of the places for that is under sound effects. And inside sound effects, you'll see all these items or musical choices. All the folders in here, we want to go into iLife sound effects. Animals have animal sounds like cows mooing. But the one you're probably going to want to use is the jingles folder, which is just going to be this instrumental background. And we'll take a listen to Barbecue Blues Long. Cool. And sometimes you just need music at the start to kind of cue your audience, like Barbecue Blues Short. So I'm going to drag this in, drop it here underneath my timeline, hit play. Okay, great, except I want that to drop out as I start speaking. So I'm going to select this video clip, and I go up here to the audio icon, and I'm going to choose lower volume of other clips. That's called audio ducking, and it's actually a complex, kind of an advanced level skill.
So we are by one of the dressing rooms in the choir
Cool. And one more thing I can do is these audio waveforms down here show me kind of the volume levels of each clip. And this clip's really loud, but my clip is pretty soft. So I can actually manually raise the volume level up or bump it up so they're close, and maybe even drop this one down a little bit. And that's called audio balancing. Again, another advanced technique, but when we listen to things, we don't want to have to be jockeying the volume knob up and down all the time because portions are really loud or really quiet. And you can do that at the end or as you go through.
So we are by one of the dressing rooms in the choir band wing.
So I'll explain through and just leave this video play. There's really isn't anything I'd want to cut away to during this. But I want to add in that next clip of when I'm in there. Shorten the end up a little bit here. I'm going to have to go back to my Green Screen 101 footage. And I want to find I'm talking about this insert feature where I raise my hand up right here and then make it disappear.
And you can do some fun things too.
Right about there, space bar.
And you can do some fun things too as far as making something appear on the screen.
Okay, I'll drag that in. And I want to make something appear, and I had that blue box, and this is actually a motion graphic background. So if I hit play here, it's just like a newscast background, but it's something to put in there if I wanted to cut away. If I wanted footage of other action, let's say the swim meet, if I was talking about that, I could go to this swimming highlights. And let's grab a little portion of this, the start of the meet maybe. I'm going to drop this over the clip, approximately where my hand lands right there. And the default for this is up here. If I click on this clip icon, the default is a cutaway, which means the screen is going to be taken over with whatever is on top, kind of like layers in Photoshop.
Making something appear on the screen.
Which is cool in itself, but I actually want it to be this picture-in-picture. And then I want to reposition this on screen so it shows up, kind of like a newscaster talking about the sports. Except I'm holding it up with my hand, which is even cooler.
Too, as far as making something appear on the screen as if you...
Now the audio for that's really loud, so I could probably drop that level out so it's not so loud, but I can still hear it.
Appear on the screen as if you...
Or I can drop it out completely if I don't want audio in there. Last thing you should know is the dissolve is good. When we hit the space bar and this picture-in-picture slowly appears, that's cool, it's classy, but you can get rid of it by deleting or changing this to a 0 so that there's no dissolve. You can also add a border around your picture-in-picture, which is kind of cool. You can add a drop shadow, all things very cool. Okay, so that is picture-in-picture. Let's talk about the two other options, which is the side-by-side or the cutaway. Well, you kind of already saw the cutaway. Let's drag this footage out. If I was talking more about the swim meet and the race itself, maybe about the finish. Here's the finish. And I wanted to cut away to that. I would drag and drop this over the top, and the default is cutaway, spacebar. Again, might want to adjust the volume levels in that clip. You've seen that already. And the last option is this side-by-side. And I'm actually playing around with this right here in this video clip.
Talk to myself.
So how would I do that? I need to play around with this a little bit. I'm actually going to split this clip right here. Right-click, choose Split Clip. And now I've got two separate clips. And I'm going to have to crop this and put myself more in the middle of the frame. And I think I'll do crop like this. See how much I can get away with it here. Return, okay. And what I need to do is bring in another clip over the top of it, that same portion, but I'm going to add an effect to it. Oh, sorry, in the wrong category. Green screen 101. There we go. Where I'm doing the mime thing right here. And I'm going to drop that on top here. And I need to select. Actually, I have to crop that first too. I should have shot myself more in the middle of the frame here. That's the problem with this, so it's going to kind of work. And the last thing I have to do is, first of all, select that clip, click up here, choose side by side, and then I want to flip this, so I have to add an effect to it. And I can do that by clicking on this icon right here, the 3 circles, and under video effect there's one that says flipped. And I've got, this is a little bit messed up yet, so I'll probably have to go back here, choose left, right. It's getting close, but
If I wanted to talk to myself,
my cropping didn't exactly work out there. So I think I would have to uncrop this.
I wanted to talk to myself.
You get the general idea here. The positioning of where you are on the camera is kind of critical, but you get the idea of how it would work. So that is basics on inserts, cutaways, ducking audio and adding background audio, as well as side-by-sides.